What's up, guys? Starting us off real hot. Living up to the name, the Hot Mess Express, because we couldn't hear anything when we started the video, and I think we got it going, though, so we are good to go. Welcome to Let's Talk Football.
I just want to point out, though, when I ran the girls' show, I didn't go, and I had no problems. But I was by myself. Right so who's the hot mess here?
Sure, me.
Not me.
Welcome to Let's Talk Football, the fantasy football show. Sorry we haven't shared this out yet. Ash is slacking. That is her job.
No, because I was fixing the audio. Good God.
So today we have we're gonna run a final mock draft. We picked our spots last week for our Let's Talk Football mock or actual fantasy draft that we're gonna be running next week. Today is the day we're going to run the final mock draft. We do have a couple guests joining the mock and hopefully joining the show. But as for now, it's just going to be us. It says, that's because
What did you do?
I didn't do anything. No, it's Facebook.
I know. Thinking. That's why I told you to close all your tabs, but you didn't listen to me.
You need to stop. All right. And
so he just closed the tab. Just saying.
So we're going to go over just a quick little brief highlight of one of the segments we'll be doing regularly. Andrew wins. He got first. It's going to be the Hello, Miss Kate.
Hello.
We're going to be doing our report card. Technically, you're third, Andrew. Kate beat you. Or Alex, sorry. I got the A names mixed up. We're going to go over our report card, but since we don't have a report card from doing our waiver wire pickups or free agents from last week because the season hasn't started yet, we're going to go over a draft we've already done and a couple teams we already have that are going into the season and just see how they've progressed, because sometimes doing drafts really early kind of can hurt you, especially because preseason games allow injuries and stuff like that, and stuff happens that kind of make it really hard. So drafting early is kind of hard, so we have already done a couple drafts, and we're going to go ahead and show you our teams and see if how we did, and you can judge us from there, and that'll be our report card. So we will go ahead and get into that.
There's so many A names. Anthony, Andrew, Alex, Ashley.
You were close, Anthony. You were close. All right.
A names are the best names.
So that is the intro to our report card session. So go ahead and go first with your first team that you have that you would like people to judge you on.
Okay, my absolute favorite team, I think. I have one that I do not like, and I want Kyle to go away when I talk about the one I don't like, but I have one I do really like. I am in a girls' league with not this group, but a different girls' league that was actually for money, and I feel really, really, really good about my team. I'm excited about that because that actually has money, and it's the most money I've ever spent on fantasy football, so I'm excited. Sorry, I'm trying to get it open. My team is stacked. I was the 6th or 7th pick.
You were the 7th pick, I think.
And they let Najee drop to me. So, that's their problem. Now I'm going to win the whole thing. But I have Naj and Mixon as my running backs. I have Keenan Allen, Amon-Ra, Patty French Fries, Godwin. I have Trey Lance, and Joe Burrow, which is something I never, ever, ever do, is get 2 quarterbacks in a redraft, but they just let them fall to me. So that's what I did there. I got A.J. Dillon and Ayuk, and I got Gallup on my IR, because if you know anything about how I draft, if we are in the last round, I'm grabbing Gallup and just sliding him right on my IR and then hitting the waiver wire immediately and grabbing somebody else. Because that's what I do. But I'm really excited about this one. I feel like I'm very stacked, especially when I compare my team to other people's teams. So I feel really, really good about that one.
Definitely. And that's for money, too, which is
your
first, money league, right?
Well, outside of, $20, yes.
I think that's solid.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that league I am really excited for. I don't know anybody in that league, not a single person in that league. When I posted about the girls' league, someone reached out to me and was like, "How much is it?" I'm like, "Well, this one's free." And she's like, "Well, I'm only really interested in doing ones for money. Would you want to join one if I did one for money?" And I'm like, "Sure, whatever." So that's how I got into 500 leagues this year. That one I feel good about. Do you have one you feel like really, really good about?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna I'm gonna show off my first year dynasty skills. I was joined a dynasty league last year. Was my first year doing a dynasty league. It was fun. It's funny. It was an all Steelers fans league. So I was like, these people are really gonna just like take everybody I want. I thought. Not yet. I'm going to though. And so last year I did our first draft. And then got into this dynasty league. It's only a 10-team dynasty league, so we're gonna see
the big difference between.
Yeah, the depth is a lot better on a 10-team league than a 14-team league. But check out this team that I got here. So we have.
This team is so stupid stacked. I can't stand it.
Patrick Mahomes is my quarterback. I got Christian McCaffrey and Nick Chubb as running backs. Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill as receivers. Darren Waller is a tight end. Mike Williams and Amari Cooper right now are currently in my flex, but on the bench, I have Tua as a backup, Melvin Gordon, Darrell Henderson, Mark Ingram as running backs, Tyler Lockett, KJ Hamler, Gray from the Niners, Albert O as a backup tight end. I traded.
People call him Albert O, so they don't have to say his entire name.
Yes, absolutely. And then on my taxi squad, I currently am sitting with Rashad White because I traded Leonard Fournette. I had Leonard Fournette, but I have Rashad White, Damian Pierce, who I think is absolutely a stud right now. Definitely a solid candidate to break out, and then Calvin Austin because I had to get my Steelers. I already have 2 first-round picks for next year's draft, and everybody that plays Dynasty knows that next year's draft class is going to be stacked. But, yeah, that is my current Dynasty team there. And it's a pretty sweet little team I got there.
Yeah, it's like gross stacked. Your wide receivers are so stupid. The fact that you have all of those people just doesn't make sense to me. And even in a 10-person league where it is easier to get a stacked team, that's still ridiculously stacked.
Yeah, and I had Austin Eckler, Leonard Fournette. I traded Austin Eckler in a second for Tyreek Hill in a first. And then that's how I got my second first-round pick for next year. And then I traded Leonard Fournette and Pat Freiermuth for it was one of my receivers. I can't remember exactly who I traded them for, but I had them as well last year. I took second, so I didn't even win. So that tells you how stacked some 10-team dynasty leagues are. But yeah, that was our report card.
Do you have one that you really, really don't like? You just hate.
Let's see.
Sydney is very ego, so it'll be interesting to see if he has one that he actually doesn't like.
So I'll just go over the teams that I already have. So let's see. This one's already drafted.
Do you like it?
Trey Lance is my quarterback, which is I really like high risk, high reward. I waited on a quarterback, so I got him way late. I took Justin Jefferson in the first round, which is something I never do. I usually always go running backs, but being able to get Nick Chubb and Aaron Jones in the second and third round was pretty good.
This is with the card people dynasty.
Yeah, and so this is technically a dynasty as well, 10-team. Just as the first year we just drafted. I got Deontay Johnson, Mark Andrews, Michael Pittman Jr., Eli Mitchell is in my other flex, and then my bench is Captain Kirk, Mitch, Marlon Mack, who is slowly losing his role. I got Rashad Penny, Kenneth Gainwell, because a guy named Mr. Faubert told me he was really good to have.
Can you go to mine in here?
I should be able to, yeah, actually. And then Russell Gage. Did I not have Chris Godwin in this one? I thought I had Chris Godwin. Oh, maybe not. Paris Campbell, Evan Ingram, got Deshaun Watson on the IR.
I really like Austin. No, and you have White in this one too.
I like Rashad White a lot. He's an ASU boy. That's my guy. James Cook from Buffalo, I think, is I was saying it in the chat the other day. I think he's a outside chance to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's just in a perfect situation in Buffalo, and if he gets that starting role, it's insane. I got my boys Kenny Pickett and Calvin Austin because of the Steelers, obviously. That's my team. And then let's see if we can find Ash's team.
Right there.
Dak in the saddle?
No, I'm Zeke. Underneath Dak in the saddle.
Okay, right there. Let's see if we can click on.
Oh, why not?
Oh,
Look at me, Zeke.
Does it say what team? Okay, so
you just go down.
She has Justin Herbert, Javonte Williams, Cam Akers, AJ Brown.
I know.
AJ Brown.
That hurt me so bad. I hate when that happens.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I got Brown and Brown Co.
The Brown and Brown Co. Pat Fryermuth at tight end, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Juju, a Steelers-loving kicker and defense.
I went Steelers special teams.
Justin Fields, Darrell Henderson to back up Cam Akers, James Robinson for Jacksonville, who I think might actually start over ETN. That's just my end.
They already named him the starter, I thought.
Officially? I don't think they have officially.
It wasn't official.
And then her bench, her taxi squad is currently nobody, it looks like.
Yeah, I need to go in there and
change
everything around.
Or it might not show me the taxi squad. As for the other teams I've already drafted, this is a redraft team. So we got Herbert, McCaffrey, Swift. I took McCaffrey. I think I had the 9th overall pick, and I got McCaffrey 9th. That was just the value was insane. Then
everyone's just afraid of McCaffrey because he's burned so many people.
Yep. Oh, this is the one I have Dobbins in, or Chris Godwin in. I got him in like the 9th round, which is insane, especially for a 12-team league. This one is a lot better. But there's that one, and then I think I might have 1 or 2 more, but we don't have
I'm in this one too.
Go over all those.
I have one that I really hate.
Oh, you want to see this one? You don't want to see this one.
Oh, jeez. No, we don't want to. If he doesn't have enough players on his team to start, actually.
Yeah, do you guys want to see? Okay, this is. Yeah, you wanted to see my worst team.
Don't go to the North Forest Dynasty one.
The first year?
Yeah, don't go to that.
So for the record, I just took this team over. So I didn't draft this team. I took over a very rough team, and I am trotting out there with confidence right now. Justin Fields at quarterback, Eno Benjamin at running back, James Robinson at running back, Marquez Valdez-Scantling and Marvin Jones at receiver, Pat Fryermuth at tight end, Tyler Higbee, a tight end in my flex, rookie Jahan Dotson.
My God.
In the third flex, you can start a quarterback. I have Jacoby Brissett because I'm doing so good. On my bench, I currently have Jordan Love, Kellen Mond.
Why do you have so many quarterbacks?
Because it's a super flex league, so you can start 2 quarterbacks. And I'm trying to hit a home run with somebody that's not good because I, again, didn't have a lot of options here. And my bench is just as bad.
I don't even know who these people
Matt
are.
Breida, Darrell Williams, Keyshawn Vaughn. I don't even know who Jones is from New Orleans.
Brown.
I got Noah Brown, Josh Gordon, Traquan Smith, Anthony Schwartz, Simi Fehoko, Dwayne, what's his name from the Eagles, the fast guy? I can't remember his first name right now. Jake DeGuara.
Darren or something.
Yeah, something like that. I got John Mechie, which was awesome until he is now battling leukemia, so hopefully he comes back strong next year. My taxi squad, Jake Ferguson, Kate Otten, Calvin Austin, and Christian Watson. Again, I did not draft any of these people, so what I have done since I've taken over this team is load up on draft picks, as you can see here.
So many. Oh my gosh, look how many.
Yeah, this is just in next year's draft.
Jeez Louise, dude.
Next year's draft, I have 2 first-round picks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks.
The whole second round.
I'm going to be trying to rebuild my whole team there, and that's kind of the goal as to what we got going. Oh, I didn't show any of that.
Oh, no.
My bad. Anyway, that's what I have.
You got us just, looking.
Who did I not get? Yes, Turpin. That was so annoying. Me and Andrew were the only ones to put in for Turpin, and he got him, not me.
He's bouncing around. We can see him. Oh, no. That's a terrible, terrible thing.
Yeah, that's a rough draft.
Dynasty, I hate it. My North Forest Dynasty team, I hate it. Kyle, go away. Don't watch this. I absolutely hate my team. The more I look at it, the more angry I get at it. And I'm like, why? Why is this my stinking team? And then I went to look at my rookies, and I'm like, I have 1 rookie from the draft. Did I not freaking draft? What happened? And then I realized that I traded them away. What did them say, Andrew?
Andrew steals everybody.
I know. I don't really. My problem with Dynasty is I don't have that like mindset to think past this year. So I'm like, wow, I hate this team. I'm still gonna win week 1, but I hate the team.
Yeah. So those are some of our teams. Just a little report card. Now we're gonna run a mock draft. We do have a guest that won't be with us. Kyle Yacy is going to be drafting from his spot in the mock draft. We are drafting from our spots from the Let's Talk Football.
Goodness, that was hard to get everyone to go to their spot.
I know. Andrew and Kyle wanted to pick spots that weren't theirs. Yeah, so we're going to do that now. You don't trade with Andrew. That's the rules.
Yeah, you should have told me that before, Kyle. You should have like slid in the DMs and been like, don't trade with Andrew.
This mock draft, though, is brought to you by all right. That is my School Drips Cards TikTok. I just do card breaks and stuff like that and sell some singles and football cards. If you're into that stuff, check me out. But without further ado, the most energetic man when it comes to fantasy football, dynasty football, North Sports Dynasties CEO, owner, co-owner, I guess, because now Alex is there, the co-host, Mr. Canadian Land himself, Andrew Foban.
I'm from
Canada. That's quite the introduction.
What?
That was quite the introduction there.
Well, yeah, the energy. You think
He's sitting in the background bouncing like that. I can't
a
bring
little
the energy.
toddler that just drank soda.
Look, if I do this fast enough, I can catch flight.
The hair. I like it. So Andrew is also going to be doing the mock draft with us. So there's going to be 4 of us in the mock draft. We're going to try and actually kind of break stuff down and give our real analysis on this. Take this a little serious this time, at least from our standpoint. Andrew, you can do whatever you want.
Actually explain why we picked the people we're picking at the spot we're picking them at.
Exactly. And so that is the goal. Let me get the mock draft pulled up here, and then we are going to go ahead and get that going.
Do you know how to pause it?
Oh, no. Why did it pull up into a different one?
Pause the draft?
This isn't a different one. This is the right one.
No, because this one's the one screen sharing.
Oh. That was silly.
All right. Give me 2 seconds.
Hot mess, I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, 4 seconds works.
Yeah.
Andrew, any advice to... Sorry, I'm trying to do 2 things at once. Any advice to somebody that is just now doing a redraft league, their first draft, and they've never done it before, and they want to get into it?
Well, if you've been listening to anything we've ever talked about Dynasty, scratch most of that stuff out because Dynasty is a whole different ballgame. A redraft is basically you got one shot to make all your money, go and do it. And if you can't do it, then you get no money. This year, a lot of people who say did these mock drafts at the beginning of the season, like when all the rookies finally got drafted and stuff like that, is way different than what it looks like now because Brian Robinson and Damon Pierce, all those type of guys are a lot more valued than what they were before. So basically just keep your eyes open on preseason because if a player plays in one game, the first game, and then doesn't play the rest of the preseason, it's a pretty safe bet. They're usually a starter.
Yeah.
Kind of like Kenny Pickett only playing 2 drives.
Very
the last
Steelers
preseason
Kenny
game.
Pickett.
And Damon Pierce.
Yep.
Got to shout out my guy Justin here.
The Blue Bethany.
The Swintons have unmatched, fantasy football knowledge. Oh, thanks,
because Justin comes on here and he acts like a nice person, but then we get on TikTok and he turns into a different person.
We're all different people on different social medias.
He's not as nice. His girlfriend is very nice, and she joined my all-girls fantasy league, so I'm super excited for her because it's her first time ever, and she's going to rock it.
Advice to everyone in a redraft: there always is a devil. Figure out who they are and avoid trading with them. I assume Kyle is talking about the gentleman on that side over there.
I'm gonna tell you,
Not
like, one
trade
thing
with
though that I always tell people that are in redraft leagues with Sydney is that he waits too long. Really, any draft, even dynasty, he waits way too long to get a quarterback, and he will stack up on wide receivers and or running backs, and he will come to you with them on a shiny platter, saying, "Here you go, give me your quarterback."
I am a gracious God.
Don't
Which-
do it. Just say no to Sydney.
You guys are making me sound like Andrew now.
Yeah.
Because it happens literally every time. And it might not come until like week 3 because last year he got like Ryan Tannehill in leagues and was like, oh, this is fine. This is going to be great. Ryan Tannehill's fine in fantasy. And then Ryan Tannehill did not do very good. So he's like, oh, shoot, here I go. And he just started offering by like week 3. It was like, here we go. Ryan Tannehill is not going to work for me. I need somebody else. And every year it happens.
I was gonna say I like this comment because he's not wrong. Because now anytime I trade with people, all it took was 1 year. I would always ask for a 4th round pick back, and then my 4th round picks end up being like, so some current starters on my roster, and they're like, all right, I'm gonna play full Bears game. I will only accept your trade, full Bear, if you send me a 4th round pick. And I'm like, I don't have any 4th rounders. They're like, go get me 4th rounders then.
I need a 4th round pick. That is the deal.
Yep.
I realized I messed up when I traded with you the other day and you sent me something and I was like, nope, I'm going to counter this. And then you immediately accepted it. And I was like, dang it. I could have gotten more. He was more desperate than I had originally anticipated.
You definitely could have. I was like, that's it. Done.
That's awesome. So without further ado, this draft might take a minute. So we're going to go ahead and get it started. This is the mock draft we'll be running. We have Ash holding down the 3rd spot, which is where she will be in the actual draft. I have the 5th overall spot, followed by Andrew, so it's going to be fun going back and forth with him each round, trying to steal who he wants, and I'm sure he's going to be taking who I want every time. And then Kyle in the 9th spot with the computer holding it down the rest of the way through. Sean said he played the Andrew Fairbairn trade game and lost Derrick Henry, so you got to be careful out there.
Tennessee's backfield is mine for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, and then so he did that, and then I'm the one who gave him
Hassan Haskins. Yeah, you could have a lot
for like
better.
a bologna sandwich. I'm over here acting like the Cowboys and just giving away people for free.
All right, so we're going to get this started. We are going to start with, it goes Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, and go figure. Ash
Oh,
is
wow.
going to take
I wonder who I will pick here. I have no idea.
Najee Harris for the 75th time in her draft. And it sucks because I'm in almost all my leagues I'm with Ash. And every single time she's ahead of me. So I've had 0 chances to take Najee. Like I don't have him in any leagues yet. It's the worst.
Yeah, we have a family, like our family draft later today, and
She's ahead of me.
I'm ahead of him, so I won't. But there's also his dad's in that one who's a Steelers fan. I don't know where he's at, so it'll be interesting.
And good luck trading for him in the NSD league because Robert loves him and he used him last year for the championship. So
I'll say Naj won me the league
The
last little league. So I'm very high on Najee because
I actually think Najee has more value in the NSD 3 league than Jamar Chase because he went number 1 overall. He helped Robert win a championship. And I think if Robert's going to trade him, he'd be like, I need 2 3s and a starter and then put something else in there. So
give me half the team.
So for redraft league purposes, definitely I don't go quarterback till way later just because the upside and stuff like that is so hit or miss. You can go with like an old school guy or older guy like Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers and hold them down in the late rounds. Whereas like in Dynasty, you need that younger guy to hopefully hold it down earlier. So I go running back heavy. Just my personal opinion. Derrick Henry, I think, is great in redraft because it's only this year. I don't like Derrick Henry long term personally, but for one season, I will jump on that train and take the king himself. That's my first round pick.
Oh. Well, this kind of puts me in a bit of a pickle here, Rick. Well, so that comment that Justin said there is, would you ever consider drafting Justin Jefferson in the top 3 pick? I would. And the fact that he's still available to me as the first wide receiver that can go off the board at 6 is very enticing. And I'm going to do it. I'm just more, if anything, considering my options of running back that are going to be available to be on the 14th pick. But you know what? Since this is a mock draft, I think I might do something else in regards to what I will do at that pick. So I will take Justin Jefferson right now because number 6 overall is a steal.
My only thing is with redraft leagues and stuff like that, Justin Jefferson may be dominant and stuff, and I agree. He is really good, and Cup's coach on his staff said I think he can be a league-winning player. To me, there's the receiving core or the receiving options are too deep in a redraft league to use your first round pick on a Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs.
I don't think the upside of getting Justin Jefferson is enough to overshadow the downside of having to get running backs later.
Mm-hmm. Because I think I can. So even if Justin Jefferson, say, averages 20 points a game, I can get receivers in the 4th, 5th round that'll average. I can find 15 to 17 point a game receivers in that round. Whereas if I can find a running back in the first round for 20 points a game, you're not going to find. You're hard pressed to find a running back in the later rounds that can average 15 to 17 a game. And so I think that's where my big difference is personally.
See, I agree. Now, there's this thing that I've worked on called a consistency chart, and it all depends on a player's consistency rating, and if it obviously is in the green. And most players' consistency rating, Alex would know what I'm talking about with this too, because I've showed him the whole formula. There's a consistency rating where it shows players and their drops per game. That's why Tom Brady is a really good player to have in redraft as well. But when it comes to say dynasty or something like that, he's not necessarily the best consistent player in all of fantasy football right now. 110% is Hunter Renfrow. Yeah,
saw that coming.
And the number 2 overall consistent player in all of fantasy football, even though he has high point structure and stuff like that, is Justin Jefferson. So that's why players like DK Metcalf are kind of higher up there. But once you start getting to a threshold of 44-point games are awesome and 1-point games the next weeks are not awesome, but balancing them out in a 2-week period still puts them at 22 points and higher than everybody else. That's why I agree with you 110%, but someone like Justin Jefferson, where they might actually throw Kellen Mond in at the end of the season around playoff time, and he's only going to throw it to one person, that's what I want. Now, this pick, can I have a little bit of recency bias because I just watched my Bucks? No. I hate high upside probability players. I really do.
It's funny you two are right next to each other. It'll be interesting. Who did Kyle take? Kyle took Devontae Adams and
Aaron Jones. Went receiver first round, Devontae Adams. And I actually had a question. Do you think Devontae Adams is going to affect that Hunter Renfrow consistency because he's going to be
1,000%. 1,000%. That's why I would still take Renfrow if he's available at a good position in a redraft. But
if you can't, he's going to run out of time.
I see it. No worries. I'm stuck between Debo and Saquon. And no, that's okay. I would have been fine.
Okay.
I like the stress of it. Don't worry.
I don't. I'm stressing out for him. I'm he has 20 seconds left, and he hasn't picked anybody.
I am gonna take Saquon, but just know that was a very, very hard decision, and it was only to not allow Sid to have what I know he probably is. Actually, no, I see Javonte still there, so he's probably going to take Javonte. But I know that Derrick Henry and Saquon is probably together going to be a league-winning tangent, and I don't want Sid to have that. So that's one of the reasons why I'm taking it.
Barkley this year.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people that say that Saquon healthy is. I've always said when he came out of college, he's one of the most talented running backs I've ever. He's one of the most talented running backs I personally have ever seen. There's definitely guys up there like Reggie Bush was insane coming out.
Look at her looking at you, being like, "What?"
Dude, Saquon, he was powerful, quick, agile, had great hands.
1,000%.
I mean,
I think she's more insulted that you didn't bring Zeke into this conversation.
Zeke wasn't as talented as Saquon, in my opinion, coming out of college.
Yeah, we've had this
Saquon's more
conversation
talented.
many times.
He's just in a again, far worse situation, and situation matters, especially when it comes to fantasy football. I like Saquon's upside in the second round this year because that's where he's falling. My problem is he still plays for the Giants, who are very bad. They're going to be behind a lot, so they're going to be passing more than running. And so I look for especially running backs. I like running backs that are going to be on top tier teams, guys that are fighting for that number 1-2 position that are up in a lot of games because that's when they run the ball. Derrick Henry's, I mean, he's a closer. They lean on him when they're trying to end the game. That's why Derrick Henry's value is so good. The majority of his work comes in the third and fourth quarter and all his points and stuff like that. This year, I see Javonte Williams stepping up and potentially being that guy. He's a workhorse. They're leaning on him. He's powerful. He led the league in broken tackles, especially with that Russ upgrade there. I just like Javonte Williams' upside. I mean, you said it. You don't like upside players, but I think he's one that's worth it, especially in the second round.
I just hate that Melvin Gordon's still there. If Melvin Gordon did not exist on the Broncos roster, I would have 1,000% taken Javonte there and been like, why is he available to me in the second round?
So the only thing, I agree. Melvin Gordon is definitely a good running back, and I agree that splitting carries is never good. But Nick Chubb goes in the first round, and he splits with Kareem Hunt. And now Melvin Gordon has come out and said that the Broncos want Javonte to be that guy, which means he knows that he's losing touches and stuff at that point.
I ain't gonna get touched.
Yeah.
Well, it's my turn. I wonder who I will pick here. See, I'm like in the 1 to 3 range in every league I've drafted in. I feel like this year, so I'm constantly picking the same team, which is probably terrible because if I go down in one, I'm going down in all.
Which Dallas player is she taking here?
Which Dallas player am I going to take here? Oh no, Zeke.
He giggles.
And then it's going to come back to me, and I'm going to do what I always do and take Cam Akers because
she's an Akers guy. I forgot about that.
Don't note that. I hate the running backs in like round 6, 7, 8. So if I don't get my 3 running backs now, I absolutely hate them later on. But I like the wide receivers moving forward, and my goal in round 1 through 3 is to get elite running backs, at least 2 of them. So the fact that I can get, in my opinion, 3 really, really good running backs makes me happy.
Oh, can we talk?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's now doing this a couple of times with a guy like Sid. Like, I know Sid's respected. I ain't gonna say too much. Sid's respected way that he would draft, or the way that he would do, say, like a dynasty. Like, for example, I see the way that he's built a team from the ground up, and I've also seen how he would rebuild a team. And I don't want to play him in a redraft if he's got Saquon freaking Barkley and Derrick Henry that he can just sit there and go to. The PPR league that especially this is under, no. I would rather him take Javonte only because of the Melvin Gordon. The Saquon injury and stuff like that, sure, that may still exist, but if it doesn't exist, that's like a possible 26 points, not consistently, but on like great days when he's playing, say, like not the Commanders defense, not anybody in his division, but when he's got to go up against like the Bears or something like that, all of a sudden that's like 30-point games for Saquon Barkley. And I don't need that beside a 34-point game for Derrick Henry on Sid's bench where we're all trying to beat him. No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'll give him Javonte.
Yeah, and so essentially, you're just kind of looking there. So now I have 2 running backs. I would love to go a 3rd running back. The problem is the next running backs up I don't think are worth it here. So I'd rather get a top tier wide receiver to kind of bolster that spot. The question is, do I just take a running back to really screw over Andrew and ruin his team, because then he can't get that second running back that he would need? But redraft league, I'm going more of making sure my team is set up. I like Keenan Allen a little bit more than Mike Evans this year, so I'm going to take Keenan Allen. That's very close, though. I don't mind going either way, really, and having either on my team.
Y'all gotta stop waiting until the last second to pick somebody. It's like getting me so much anxiety that I cannot handle it. I'm like looking at the time, like, are you just not gonna pick? Like,
And then Justin said a healthy Saquon will push top 3 range, but I can't freaking read, the computer's too far.
If healthy statement makes him nervous, basically.
Yes, and that's like the Christian McCaffrey, the Derrick Henry. To be honest, I'm nervous about him, but redraft leagues, you kind of, it's because it's just 1 year, you don't want to be the guy that passed on him and then he goes and blows up and he's the number 1 running back.
Sorry, Nick. I didn't realize you were watching, brother. No.
I don't appreciate that statement.
I agree completely, Alex. Take Simi. You do that.
This is not Andrew's league where you just have to do whatever the comments say, so I will not be taking Simi.
I am going to go with my guy here because I was just looking at some of the other availables around in the next round, and I know that I can get what I would essentially value. So I'm going to take one of my guys from actually the Chicago Bears this year. Give me David Montgomery.
I like Montgomery.
The only problem, I love Montgomery as a running back. I think he's uber talented. Again, Saquon situation, terrible offensive line, bad team. I think they're going to be down a lot this year. And so it's going to be hard.
A little bit last year.
And I'm not too worried about his injuries. He hasn't shown like any major injury signs, but that worries me about him a lot. I mean, and as my number 2, you are very risky right now, Mr. Gobert, with Saquon and David Montgomery. You're taking. So my personal opinion, I like to go for running backs in a top tier team, receivers in a team on a team that are going to be a bottom or lower tier team, especially for redraft, because they're going to be down, they're going to be throwing late, you're going to rack up them garbage time points, and that's just how I personally build my team. I want top team running backs, bottom team receivers, and that's kind of
course you would
why I do that. And then Kyle Pitts goes to Kyle. He had to take his dirty bird.
He's a Falcons fan.
Kyle Pitts goes to the pit of Kyle. Kyle's pit team.
And then Justin said,
I hate his team name. He's such a jerk.
When drafting committed running backs.
Who are you trying to read?
Committee of running backs.
Right now, I can't.
Oh. When drafting committed running backs, it is crucial to know how the roles they have. For example, Damian Harris is going to split, but still has the red zone touches now with receiving upside.
Facts.
So even though he's going to split, he's the receiving back.
Yeah,
and their end zone back, which is where you get points.
And that's why I talk about like exactly that. You got to know the roles in the teams. You're not just going based off talent. You're kind of going off the situation and everything like that. And that's why I like teams that are going to be winning a lot more running backs and teams that are going to be losing a lot more receivers.
I'm always triggered. It's literally my lifestyle.
Then Alex said the plus side with
2, especially Montgomery, is Monty might be the number 2 receiving option in Chicago right now.
Facts. I guess in 2 little
time. Bear down. Keep pounding. Just keep pounding.
So now Andrew's up with his 3rd running back. Again, this is another one,
I
man.
hate Josh Jacobs this year.
You know what's funny is I think Andrew is just drafting players to throw us off for when the real draft happens next week. Because I don't think he's taking these players. The reason, so I'll give you my take on Josh Jacobs real quick.
He said you made me go on the spot, but I'm going to actually have to draft it, and now I'm going to F with you guys.
Josh
you
Jacobs.
Don't think I haven't been part of this fantasy football game for a while?
Josh Jacobs has finished in the top 15 as a fantasy running back the last couple of years, and so people love Josh Jacobs. The problem I have with Josh Jacobs is his new coach is a very pass-heavy offense, comes from a running back committee. He runs a running back committee offense, which is never good for fantasy upside. So I am not a fan of Josh Jacobs. I will not be drafting him in any leagues. So feel free to take him. What?
Will you scroll?
Oh, on the...
Yeah.
There we go. So I won't be taking him, but now, and then just to highlight Kyle's team real quick, if we look at Kyle's team, he went receiver, running back, tight end, receiver. So he only has 1 running back. So it's going to be very interesting to see who he ends up with his running back situation, because running backs are definitely valuable in fantasy. They're needed. they get hurt very often. So I'm curious where that team ends up. Now it's my turn. I would love another running back, but again, I don't see anybody that I think is valuable here. There's a couple lower down that I'm okay with taking as my third guy. There are a lot of really good receivers here right now, though. And I personally would like Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton, but I already have Javonte Williams, and I don't like to stack up on the same team on a redraft league just because if that team is a bust, then I'm kind of screwed. Antonio Gibson, I don't think he's going to be the starter, so I'm going to pass on him. Mike Williams would be nice, but I already have I'm just going to go J.K. Dobbins.
Oh, the anxiety.
Again, you're doing it on purpose. Stop doing it.
No.
I was trying to talk through the analysis there is what it was.
No.
All right. Well, now that I have 3 running backs, I need a wide receiver. I like receivers that have good quarterbacks. I keep it very simple. And
There we go.
DJ Moore does not have a good quarterback, in my opinion.
Don't talk about Baker like that.
And
How dare
even if
you.
Baker is a good quarterback, they are looking very thin over there. I will never, ever, ever draft DK Metcalf. Absolutely not. Especially with their quarterback situation. I really like Judy and Sutton. Every time I look at those two, I'm like, who's the guy? Who's the one? Who's going to be the one? And I always lean more towards Sutton. So I'm just going to go there. I don't have a lot of faith in Jerry Jeudy, and I don't know why. Probably because he just hasn't done it yet. So I'm like, I don't know. I don't like taking a quarterback here. I'd rather take one later in like the 7th, 8th round.
What?
So the fact that a quarterback went in the 3rd round is ridiculous. That should not happen. Don't do that.
I very much agree, Alex. I think it's Jerry Jeudy is Tyler Lockett and Cortland Sutton is DK. So you're kind of going exactly what is there.
And then I'm going to Justin Herbert is one of my favorite quarterbacks in the league right now. So I'm going to go Mike Williams because I need wide receivers after taking 3 running backs in the first 3 rounds.
So now it is up to me, and I have 3 running backs now, which I'm super happy with. I definitely need some receivers. Jerry Jeudy's still sitting there. I like him a lot, but again, I don't like stacking running back receivers. So having Joe Burrow there is interesting because then I don't have to wait on quarterback. But there's a receiver here that I kind of like in the 5th round because of the potential upside. Anytime a good receiver goes to a better quarterback, they usually have a better season, and I'm going to ride Allen Robinson because I think he's very talented, and being in that upgraded offense, he's got potential to take that Robert Woods, Odell Beckham
I like
role.
Allen Robinson a lot. I am also trying not to stack players on teams because I have a habit of doing that where I'll get like 7 Rams players, and I'm like, why was I so heavy on the Rams? So that's the only reason I wouldn't have taken them right there because I already have Cam Akers.
Because it's got a Hemi. Dad jokes. Yay. I don't know what to do here. This is to throw everybody off. I mean, to figure out what I'm going to do here.
Another league I'm in, I'm going to lose week 9 because every one of my players is on a bye. So I don't pay attention to that either.
Yeah, make sure you don't do that. I had to
it doesn't matter. Just take the L the one week and just win all the other ones. It's fine.
I also had to take the the mock draft off of my phone and put the Daytona 500. I forgot it's this morning because it's rain. Okay, so this is a little tip for people out there. If you're doing mock drafts, whether it's PPR, standard, whatever. If you are low on running backs, or you know that you're going to be low on running backs, which I am not, but if you are still looking in fantasy for that quick extra 2 to 5 points, maybe even 6, where that could be a make it or break it almost for you every week, you want to look at running quarterbacks. That's why Lamar always goes high. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, they just put up touchdowns. But Kyler and Lamar averagely can add anywhere between 4 to 10 points on average per week for you. So just as a tip, I'm going to take Kyler Murray because there's only a couple of those quarterbacks left. And there's also a reason why in our Dynasty League, I basically offered Sean an offer he couldn't refuse a few months back for Kyler. So, yeah.
Sean also had Kyler Murray in the league last year, and Kyler Murray was hurt for a good portion of the season. So he's very salty on Kyler Murray. So I think that might have played. Personal bias comes in a lot of this stuff.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Someone asked a question, but I don't know what you would answer that.
Oh, okay. Let's see. What do you think about a running back tight end? And
Start. Yeah.
And 5 straight receivers. So I actually don't mind that at all because the receivers you can get in the 4th through 9th round are really solid. I think they can be have potentials to be number 1. Like, for example, still available right now, Chris Godwin, Michael Thomas. I mean, even the receivers just taken, Jerry Jeudy, Allen Robinson, Mike Williams, DJ Moore, they all have potentials to be a wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2 in fantasy. And the fact that you can get them in the 5th, 6th, and 7th round makes it to where you run the running back tight end strategy, and it could work out very well. As long as your running backs hit, which, I mean, you can't really know for sure, but having the top 2 running backs and then a nice one of the top tier tight ends is really good. I personally like a couple tight ends in the later rounds, so I wouldn't even mind going 3 running backs and then straight receivers, or 3 running backs or 2 running backs and a quarterback almost to get that top tier guy. But it's kind of, I definitely don't mind that strategy at all because I like the receivers in the middle rounds.
I agree.
Yeah.
5 straight, you get 5 straight rounds of almost, like, you probably get 2 starters on a team or 2 number 1s, probably a 1A or a 1B in there, and then a couple of backups.
Right. So I'm literally on the back end of the 6th round right now, and I'm looking at Michael Thomas, Juju Smith-Schuster, who could be a number 1 in Kansas City, no problem. Adam Thielen, who's in a pass-heavy offense and always produces. Darnell Mooney, who will be the number 1 target in Chicago. I mean, just right there, those 4. Rashad Bateman is going to be the number 1 target, or I guess number 2 behind Mark Andrews, technically, for Baltimore. But I mean, those are all insanely talented and top-tier receivers that you can get in these later rounds, which I'm going to go with one of them. It just depends on. Actually, yeah, I'm going to go with theirs.
Alex says to make sure that you trade Kyler before the new Call of Duty comes out. And see, look, Sean said, F Kyler, if you're being honest. That getting burned by a player kind of changes your draft strategy for the next year too. Sure. Like, I have players that I will not draft. Like, I will not draft Christian. I don't care what round we're in. If Christian McCaffrey was available to me right now, I would not draft him.
What?
That guy has screwed me over like twice now. I'm over it. Alvin Kamara is another one that I'm just gonna stay away from you.
Fuck.
If you burn me, I can't get over it.
Ask Alex about Alvin Kamara for my love of Alvin Kamara in fantasy football. I was an underdog for our championship in the first year. I built my team through free agency and a couple of good trades, and I came up right at the end of the season, and I went all the way to the championship, and I freaking had it, man. And then what does he do on, what was that, Christmas Day? Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6.
Yeah, that was like the one. I had him the year before, and then I passed on him. I'm like, I'm never doing him again. And then the following year he did that. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. He's over here just scoring touchdowns on touchdowns on touchdowns.
Yeah.
Who did Andrew go? TJ? Oh, that's my favorite tight end.
That's where it starts kind of falling out of the elite one. I mean, Dalton Schultz is still there, and it all depends on how much targets Tolbert's eventually going to get in Dallas. But I mean, Schultz will probably still have a lot of relevancy. He had a lot of. Oh, there goes the big one. Sorry, I just happened to look down and I see cars going everywhere.
I'm surprised. I wouldn't take Dalton Schultz over TJ. I don't think.
No, Bubba, why?
Schultz.
Me.
I think Schultz is in a better situation than TJ. I'm not sure. I think TJ's more talented. Detroit honestly has a lot of weapons. Dallas doesn't now, which is not something that I would have said last year, but Schultz has a very good connection with Dak, and Dak likes Schultz a lot. So the fact when Dak doesn't have options, he goes to Schultz. I like Schultz as a fantasy tight end a lot more than I do a NFL tight end. And I think I could honestly see Schultz finishing ahead of TJ, not having any problem this year doing that just because of the situation. Again, I think both teams will be down a lot during the season, but Hawkinson, there's too many hands there's too many mouths to feed, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I mean, all those guys are going to get catches. They're all receiving backs and stuff like that. And Hawkinson's great and stuff, but he's sharing with a lot of people, whereas Schultz is the number 2 behind CD, and that's not even close. Like, that's it. Even when Gallup comes back, I think Schultz is still the number 2.
It's a good thing we're not doing this one for money now, are we?
So I got my quarterback. I stole Russell last round. I just think I like the upside there. When a really good quarterback goes to a new situation and has a good offensive line, good receivers, good running back, we've seen good things happen, a la Stafford, as of recently. So I didn't mind taking him there. I
like taking a quarterback like right now. I gambled and didn't take a quarterback and hoping some of them that I would be okay with getting come back to me. Same thing with like there were a couple of wide receivers that I'm like, oh, I could reach for them, and I'm just gonna cross my fingers that they come back to me. Dalton Schultz will not be on the Cowboys next year. It will be Ferguson and whatever shot his name is. What's his name? Hendershot.
Yeah, I was gonna say something shot.
Ferguson.
Oh, you got Jetta 7th overall in a 10-man PPR. That's pretty solid. Seeing as we just said he was a steal at 6.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go backwards here.
Rank my 10 team have PPR Hurts, Williams,
Javonte, Kamara, Diggs, Schultz, flexes,
ETN, and Edmonds.
Solid night.
I like it a lot. Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of Edmonds as everybody else is personally, and also ETN because I think James Robinson is a guy there and they like him a lot. Chase Edmonds is also in something that, I mean, there's just so many people there that they like a lot. Raheem Mostert, I think, is going to steal a lot of his touches that people think Edmonds is going to get, but everything else I'm a big fan of. Hurts is a – go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, watch it be Myles Gaskins all over again.
Right. I mean, and it could be. That's the problem is there's 6 guys there that could be the guy. Everybody thinks it's going to be Edmonds, and I mean, I can see him being the guy, but I personally
I like Edmonds if you get him later. Like, I think he's a bad pickup later if you're like in need of a running back because you didn't get one in the first 2-3 rounds.
I went ahead and took.
He has a good bench too.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Renfro, Christian. I like Renfro a lot. Tony has a lot of good upside. I like Olave as well, but again, he's in a situation that's a lot of mouths to feed, and the quarterback isn't as good enough to get all those mouths fed. Personally, I don't think, but. I mean, he could be that guy. Because if Slant Boy goes down again.
Slant Boy will go down again. I despise. That's another one. I'm not touching you, Slant Boy, because absolutely not.
Ooh, Slant Boy? They've been showing highlights of him in camp running slants.
So Kyle didn't get running backs at the beginning, but I like his running backs that he's getting later. Like those are the 2 running backs that I would be okay with getting later.
Yeah, he went CEH. He got a nice steal at Amon-Ra St. Brown in the 6th round. Love that. So his receivers are stacked. Got his quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, again, in a redraft that's solid. Rodgers is always going to produce. There's nothing wrong there. Cordero Patterson, I'm a little on. He's just, I mean, he flashes, but he's kind of touchdown dependent, I personally believe.
But if you're this far in and you
and that's who you're getting.
I don't think it's bad.
And CEH, I think, is solid too, as long as you get Isaiah Pacheco later on, just because I think he might be stealing that job eventually in the season. And then, see, this is where it kind of plays to the defensive thing that Sean was talking about earlier.
He took Pickens right before you.
Well, look who I'm going to take.
Gotta know who you're playing.
I'm about to take Ash,
defense,
his handcuff of Zeke, and take Tony Pollard, just so I have that backup running back just in case.
That's dumb
Zeke
because
gets hurt,
Pollard shouldn't be
him
going right now.
Well, he's literally ranked right there.
No, he should have came back to me.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
I know who she has, and I know she might need him later on, and that's trade bait. That's If Zeke goes down, I just got another starting running back. That's a lot right there that you can take in the 8th
You're
round.
so annoying.
Money league. That's just a block.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
again
a
playing
block.
defense as
1,000%
well.
a block because you should have. You don't need
No.
Tony Pollard, and you should have made his way back.
You
down.
don't need
this
Tony
isn't
Pollard.
a dynasty draft where you're like looking for Tony Pollard's future. Like you're looking at what's Tony Pollard going to do for me this year, and potentially nothing. But he could have done a lot for me, so that's rude. The quarterbacks that I wanted to come back around to me did, so that's exciting. The wide receivers I wanted to come back around to me did. I wanted Tony Pollard, but I'll give that up, I guess. And I'll go. I like Ayuk a lot. And then quarterbacks. So it's like Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott. I was hoping one would go before they came back to me, so I wouldn't have to make the decision of which one I wanted. I don't love Trey Lance for whatever reason. I'm going to go Stafford only because I know I'm going to take probably more Cowboys players later, and I don't want everyone on the same team. And the Rams have a different bye week than week 7 or week 9. So.
And so this is looking at my team. I'm still missing a tight end. I got 4 running backs, 3 receivers that I really like. DeAndre Hopkins is suspended for 6 weeks, but I don't mind starting the other 2 guys until he comes back, and he's going to come back fully healthy, which is always awesome. What?
Messed that up. Are you going to take tight end right now?
No.
Okay, never mind. I'm going to block you from getting Patty in real life.
Okay. Before I get to my pick, though, I wanted to answer this one. A 10-man PPR, Lamar Jackson, DeAndre Swift, Leonard Fournette, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Dalton Schultz, Terry McLaurin. Thoughts? I like this one a lot. Lamar Jackson is a fantasy machine. He produces points. DeAndre Swift is a great pass catching. Both of your running backs are pass catching running backs in a PPR. That's amazing. And they're Justin Jefferson obviously is Justin Jefferson, so that's awesome.
Higgins.
T. Higgins, I'm a bigger fan of Higgins in real life football than I am in fantasy football.
That's true.
Just because Joe Burrow loves Jamar Chase more than Higgins, and he tries to force the ball to Chase, in my opinion. Higgins has never finished as a top 15 fantasy receiver yet, so that's the only knock I have there. I don't mind him at all, though, but I like Schultz a lot, again, for the reasons I was stating earlier, and Terry McLaurin is the best quarterback he's ever played with in his career, and I think he's going to have a great season. And Washington Commanders are going to win the NFC East.
I'm tired of that stupid.
What the hell? You're saying Carson Wentz is better than Fitzmagic?
He had
Fitzmagic for half a game.
I don't care.
I'm going to take my backup now, Melvin Gordon, since I have Javonte. Now I am set. I don't have to worry about one running back spot because I either have Javonte or Melvin Gordon for the rest of the season, unless both of them get hurt, which is a possibility, but it's less likely. And I don't really have to worry about that starting spot anymore.
No. For that guy's team, if it was a redraft, that's awesome. But if it's dynasty, I'd start looking to trade some of those pieces, bro, and get some value. Like trade Leonard Fournette as fast as you can, trade Higgins as fast as you can, and trade McLaurin as fast as you can. If that was dynasty. Only because, like, you're going to get maybe 1 or possibly 2 years of relevance, and then they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're gone forever. So start getting, like, draft picks or see if you can bundle it up and go after, like, a Najee or Javonte or something like that. If that's dynasty. But redraft, you're not too bad. Now, here, I don't know. I'm not taking Patty just a block because, I mean, still got to keep a little bit of realism in this.
You should take a kicker.
No.
Super realistic.
This is not NSD. It's LTF, man. I will, on the other hand, though.
I was in drafts and people were taking kickers round 4. That was the most insane thing I've ever seen in my life. And they didn't take Justin Tucker. Like, not only did they take a kicker in round 4, they didn't take the best one available. It was insane.
Yeah, those kind of people are just like weird.
Don't be silly. Don't make it easy for everyone to beat you.
That's gonna be savage, but
I like Kyle's taking Ramondre Stevenson there. I can see him being the guy. Oh, look, Pat French Fries just went to the guy that already has a tight end.
Yeah, sleeper's not bad for mock drafts. They just I wish they would have a little bit more like, for example, if you could put different personalities in for each team, like to make it a little bit more realistic.
Like this person doesn't value tight ends.
Oh, more guys are crashing. Sorry.
Tyler Boyd. Kyle's got a lot going on over there. I'm looking at him.
God, I love Daytona.
We see you, Kyle. Your name sucks, but we see you.
Damian Pierce just went.
I know. That's literally what I was going to pick there, too. It's funny because if you want to talk about the biggest stock riser for any fantasy football player from the time a rookie draft was done up until now, it's Damian Pierce, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
Like, I think maybe James Robinson a couple years ago was really good, too. He was kind of like, a lot of people were still sleeping on him. I don't think anybody's sleeping on Damian Pierce anymore. And this goes into
a ton of stuff about him.
This goes into real life, and I am going to take my shot at this here. To all those people who are like, Faubert, you're being a Gator homer. Damian Pierce is nothing more than just an overly used back who had a couple of good flashes. Okay. He's the leader. And speaking of leader,
gonna be great.
I was gonna take him.
I know.
I'm done. Bye.
Andrew just took Michael Gallup, which
You
was
knew
awesome.
that you did that because I was going to take him because that is what round are we in? You took him too early, first of all.
The
You guys
10th.
do the gritty?
Do the gritty.
You took him too early.
What are you talking about?
That's like my 11th round pick every time.
Yeah, but I'm in the middle. You got to understand too. I'm in a middle kind of pick. So depending on like who you are as a drafter, like if you're an end of the round drafter, you'll usually double up on a couple of things that may have happened in a round prior.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing that I have to do in here, technically because of you, but also because of Sid being right after me. Because you have to think about the people that you're drafting with, and you have to look at some of the players that are around.
Yeah,
Like
they're not going to come back to you. Like Pollard, I should have known wasn't going to come back to me based on where you were at.
But now the question becomes, like, where did you take Pollard again? That was the tail end of the 8th round?
Yeah.
Is Pollard... Uh-oh.
Am I going to reach and take him?
Yeah, are you gonna reach to take him in the 7th round when you could have had... When you still had... Where's your pick in the 7th round? So you had Darnell Knox.
Mm-hmm.
So then all of a sudden, are you willing to give up, say, Knox for like a Goddard or an Ertz or, a possibility?
No, that's why I took a tight end right there because I was like, well, my problem was I wish I would have taken Freiermuth later, but I didn't know if he was going to come back to me based on you being in the league and
fact that
everyone knowing.
The fact that you took a tight end probably allowed Sid to be like, okay, I got at least another round or two if I really wanted him. But if you would have like not taken a tight end there and say gone Pollard, I could almost guarantee you that Freiermuth would have been gone by 8.8.
Then I would have been screwed. That was my thought because I always wait way too long to get a tight end every time. So I'm trying not to do that this year because last year I literally had like every week I was picking up a tight end off the waiver wire and they would literally get me like 0 points. Like that would be my tight end points was 0 because that's how screwed I was at tight end. So I'm trying not to do that to myself this year.
And then look at Sid's still getting number 1s and technically 1Bs in like the 10th round here. So
that's the goal. I got D-Hop who's suspended for the first 6 games, so I'm like, let me get the other guy that's going to be the guy until D-Hop comes back, and I got Rondell Moore right there, which was a really good deal. I mean, that's only my 4th receiver, so I'm kind of short on receivers, but I mean, I have Keenan Allen and Allen Robinson that I'll most likely be starting every game, and then I'll be picking the best Cardinals receiver kind of going forward, which I'm not mad at.
No.
I don't have a tight end, though, so that's kind of bad.
Yeah, the tight end's available.
See, and then here, if you were to like take Julio Jones, that's not going to upset me and be like, oh my God, thank you. The temptation's not there.
That was a Jedi mind trick. He wants you to
running back just to have another one because I didn't have any more besides my first 3. And then...
Oh, the kickers are going to start popping off here soon.
Yep. gonna take another wide receiver. It's just a matter of who now that Michael Gallup's gone. Ugh, I don't like that. I don't like. I want to take Scantling. I don't love that, but
Kyle is saying that the tight end position is a very underappreciated position. Do not wait to bring in a tight end. It's probably the position he values the most, and which is a very good reason. I mean, point based off of what Ash was just saying, because she was saying that she was getting 0 points from her tight end, and if you have one of those top tier tight ends and you're getting 15 to 20 points when you play Ash, and she has to make that up in other spots. If you did a good job drafting and like you got your running backs and your receivers in the later rounds, even later rounds receivers right now, we're going to produce more than 0 most likely. So she's going to have an uphill battle based on that if she doesn't have a good tight end. Speaking of, I don't have a tight end right now, so I'm going to take one. And I think I like Albert O, the number one tight end for the Broncos. Getting him this late, I think, is a pretty good deal. He's not the most talented tight end, but he's, again, situation matters. And being in the situation there in Denver with Russell Wilson is a lot. It's very big.
Yeah. There's definitely people who are like value elite tight ends and then like everybody else. And to me, it's like there's the top 3, but I'm not willing to give up. There's like the Kelsey, the Kittle, the Pitts, the Andrews, the Waller, and then it kind of drops off for me, and I'm not really willing to give up a running back to make sure I have a tight end. So then I kind of just try to make sure I'm getting my tight end in like that 7th, 8th round-ish to at least get like a decent starting tight end. Then get nobody because I did not do that last year, and it was a hot mess.
Kyle went ahead and took Justin Tucker just to throw it in Ash's face.
Yep.
And then the kicker and defenses started falling. One thing I do in redraft, especially in redraft leagues, is I don't take a kicker defense in the draft. I'll sit with a roster that's too filled and wait until the season, right before the season starts, to drop who I need to drop, because there's always those last minute injuries that could arise and kind of screw you over. So if you have some depth and stuff that you have there. Oh, why did you take Kenneth Gainwell there, sir?
Last round? Because I'm allowed.
I'm going to take Julio Jones, just because.
Julio!
I mean, if he's healthy, the connection with Tom Brady could be insane. So, I mean,
you're taking him so late. It doesn't.
Did you see? Did you see the one throw? Yeah, I know it's preseason, but it was a 20-yard catch that it was a 20-yard catch that looked like a 10-yard catch. And I'm like, if this is Julio every single time,
Yeah, can you imagine if like Julio and Tom Brady pop off and you just got him in the 12th round? Like, that would be disgusting. And stuff like that happens all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
The kickers make me mad.
Well, then don't take kickers.
No, I want a kicker. I'm gonna take the Falcons kicker because Kyle isn't here and I can. I always take a kicker. My thing with defenses is that until last year, I think I would drop and pick up a new defense every week until last season. Then I finally just got one and stuck with it.
I play the defense carousel.
That's normally what I would do. It's stressful though, because I always just look for a matchup. Like, who has the best matchup? That's the defense I'm grabbing.
So we're at the point where you're kind of just swinging for the fences here, just trying to see if you can hit something. Like Brian Robinson.
Oh, well done. That was literally what I was grabbing.
That's a good one.
Because he might be the starter, so being able to get that here is good. All right, we got another fantasy question. 14-man PPR. Tua and COVID Kirk, which is good. Jonathan Taylor, Damian Harris, and Pierce, which is good. Jay Jettas, Chris Godwin. I love Godwin. He's falling way too far in drafts. Hawkinson's solid. Tony Dobson. Does that say Dobson? Dotson.
Jahan
Perkins.
Dotson.
Yeah. Chargers, Patriots. Dude, on a 14 team, that's solid. You waited on quarterback, which is good. You stacked up early, but Tua has a potential of being great because of all the weapons he has, and Kirk is the most consistent fantasy quarterback out there, I think. So being able to get him just to kind of hold it down to see if Tua can hit is awesome. The fact that you got Jonathan Taylor and Justin Jefferson is kind of insane.
Yeah.
Damian Harris is one of the ones up in the air. So, I mean, your first running back solid. Harris and Pierce are kind of like question marks, but they have potential. Justin Jefferson, Chris Godwin, though, is insane.
You need to scroll down.
Hawkinson is solid. I like that team a lot, though.
He could have gotten all Guy elbows too. Look, one pick away.
Oh man, that's what we wanted definitely too.
I'm also just looking at this race. There's another big crash. I love big crashes. And there's lightning strikes because they don't care. Money, America, drive it.
Drive in a circle.
Drive in a circle.
Very fast.
Very fast.
Wow,
Dude. Lightning strikes.
Yeah, see Tyler Algier. I agree. But you did not get him.
The
Mr.
computer
Kyle.
did. All these kickers.
Seeing what's available.
I will never get Justin Tucker, Evan McPherson in a league, and it makes me sad.
I'm going to go one more just to throw it in Ash's face.
Yeah, do it.
No,
Yeah,
you suck so bad. Oh my god. I literally had rookies up on my phone and was just waiting to be like, fine, I guess I didn't get Gallup, but I'll at least get Tolbert. You are the worst.
You weren't getting Tolbert. I almost debated Tolbert, but I was like, you know what? I'll be nice, but I was like, Sid's going to do it. Sid's going to do it.
You know you didn't have to because you knew this idiot.
If Sean was drafting with us right now, for example, like
Jahan Dotson.
would have
Well,
thought
that's my other my last round option was Dotson or Tolbert, and I was just hoping. Oh my goodness!
All right, so finalized. Let's check out the teams.
You just like Najee so much, you have to click.
We got Ash here holding it down. Went 3 running backs first to get her started. Has that solid running back committee locked it down with Najee, Zeke, and Cam. And then went straight 3 receivers. So Cortland Sutton, Mike Williams, Darnell Mooney. Cortland Sutton very well could be the number 1. Mike Williams is a highly touted, but number 2. But it is extremely pass-heavy offense, so definitely no problems there. Darnell Mooney is the number 1. Brandon Ayuk apparently has an awesome connection with Trey Lance so far, so that's awesome. Dawson Knox, tight end in a very pass-heavy offense with Josh Allen is awesome. Matthew Stafford as her quarterback, again, somebody that throws the ball a lot, throws a lot of touchdowns, definitely good there. James Robinson, I think, is a steal in that late of a round because there's talk that he actually might be the starter over Etienne to start the season. They love him there. Marcus Valdez-Scantling, again, just hitting a receiver late that has a great quarterback that's going to pass a lot.
My thing with like quarterbacks or with wide receivers is that I don't mind taking like the number 2, 3 wide receiver as long as they have a good quarterback. I'm not taking the number 2, 3 somewhere where their quarterback is garbage.
Can you even name the number 2 receiver in Chicago?
No.
Velus Jones.
Okay.
Or Damon Pringle.
Velus Jones is in Minnesota, I think.
No,
isn't he?
No.
Is he Chicago?
So. Osborne is Minnesota's like number 3.
Yeah, KJ Osborne is a very underrated wide receiver.
And then myself, I went running back, receiver, running back. And so I got Derrick Henry, Javonte Williams, and J.K. Dobbins as my backfield. J.K. Dobbins hopefully is healthy because they are a great running team. And then Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson as my starting receivers, and then D-Hop, Rondale Moore, Julio, and Jalen Tolbert on my bench. Russell Wilson at quarterback. Tony Pollard is the backup. Melvin Gordon as my handcuff. And Brian Robinson, who has the potential to be the starting running back in Washington. I did wait for tight end, so I fell with Albert O. Hoping that that's not a bust, because then I would be playing the tight end roulette that Ash hates to
and
do.
I would just say that I did end up drafting the tight end in Seattle last year when I didn't have one. I did not go good. And his quarterback was Russell Wilson. So
True.
Good luck to you.
Thanks. Mr. Foobs Andrew Faubert went Justin Jefferson with his first pick, and then went 3 straight running backs because he was trying to make up for it. He went very high risk with Saquon, David Montgomery, Josh Jacobs, and ended up with Kyler Murray as his quarterback. TJ Hawkinson at tight end, Robert Woods, George Pickens, Kadarius Toney, Michael Gallup at receiver. I guarantee not a single one of these players is going to be on his team when we draft next week.
I like Robert Woods, though.
You can quote it. It's going to be a thing. Maybe Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth
Gainwell is definitely a must. You didn't draft A.J. Dillon.
Maybe the only one.
What happened?
He wasn't there. That Andrew actually ends up with. And then Gainwell, Herbert, Higbee,
and Collins. Hold on. There might be like 2. Maybe 2.
No shot.
I'm going to tell you right now, my first 3 picks are like lost. Everyone else is very...
Kyle went receiver in first round as well. Devontae Adams, no problem there. They're going to be in a pass-heavy offense with McDaniels as their coach, so he should produce well. He has a connection with Carr from college. Aaron Jones at running back. Then he went Kyle Pitts, Deontay Johnson before taking his second running back of CEH. Amon-Ra St. Brown, really good value there, I think. Cordero Patterson. I saw a stat about Amon-Ra St. Brown. He ended his rookie season on a
don't talk about it
7-game streak of 5 catches or more. That's the most for a rookie receiver ever in the NFL history. So he is currently on that streak. He's going to keep it going. Obviously, he's not a rookie anymore, but that's massive. So he's already got the connection.
Don't tell the people.
Cordero Patterson, who is, great receiving running back, and they're probably going to be throwing the ball a lot, being down as the Falcons.
I actually don't hate his team as much as I thought I was going to because he didn't take running backs at the very beginning. And I was very nervous for him, but it's actually not terrible.
Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, always solid in redraft. Ramondre Stevenson, who could definitely vulture some of those points from Damian Harris. Tyler Boyd, Justin Tucker, Hunter Henry, the Broncos defense, and finished off with T-Law trying to be that guy. All right, and so that's what we got going on there.
How do you feel about your team? Would you like it?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with my team. Tight end, I waited a little too long on, but everything else I'm pretty happy with.
I love my team. That's going to be the exact team I draft next week.
Yeah, we believe you.
I cannot wait until
we believe you
next week to see that that's exactly what you end up doing.
But that is our final mock draft of the season. Thank you so much, Andrew and Kyle, for joining us. Andrew is going to go ahead and get out of here. We much appreciate you. I am going to let you tell the people all about yourself and where to find you.
You can find me currently watching this rained out last 21 laps. Jesus, Mother Nature, I just want Daytona, please. Yeah, you can find me at NSD. I do shows on Friday nights where we talk about all the news around football, some fantasy stuff, and everything else crazy. It's a little bit more of a fun, interactive show, which, it's not to say every show I do is not fun, interactive. And tonight is the first ever appearance of the Maple Buck Show. 8 o'clock my time, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. I don't know what the time is in Japan. I'm sorry. But, yeah, you can find me tonight talking Bucks on the NSD program. So, yeah. Appreciate you guys having me on.
Thank you, sir. Have a great rest of your night or day, I guess, since it's still early.
It's morning time.
What time is it there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's 9:30.
It's AM, not PM. All right, Andrew. Have a good one. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. That was the final mock draft of the off season, because now next week will be the actual draft, so we'll do that live. Feel free to check us out. Sean said, thanks for coming on Boobs. And
thank you, Kyle.
And Kyle for doing the draft. Appreciate you, my dude. Sorry we couldn't have you on, but you said you were driving, and so I didn't want to kind of put you in that situation. Anything else? Anything else you want to leave the people with?
That's all I got.
That's it?
Make sure you know who you're drafting with, because they're jerks and they'll try to block you.
Anyway, check out Ash on Thursday for Let's Talk Football Ladies Takeover.
Oh, yes. We are on Thursday, speaking of fantasy, actually. We are drafting for the All Ladies League, and I'm super duper excited. So we're having like a fantasy football special on the ladies show. So you should definitely watch us draft because you think I was triggered now. Just wait when it's real time.
Yep, it's going to be great. Very entertaining to watch her draft. It is a spectacle. Make sure to tune into that.
I freak out every time. The time gets to me. I'm the first overall pick, so I go into it very well knowing what I want my first pick to be. And then when you're the first one in the snake draft, you get boom, boom pick. So I always know who I want right here. And then I get here and I'm like, oh no, what do I do now? I was so zoned in on this one person I wanted, and now I immediately have to pick somebody else. So
and you're going to get to watch it live.
It's very
explosion of everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time. We're going to answer this one last, highlight this one last one. What a phenomenal stream. Andrew, you were amazing. Squiddy, you continue to amaze me with your knowledge. Ash, you are such a stud. Phenomenal person. Better, what does it say? Better backer?
Better teacher, sports savvy. Let's go.
Let's go, Justin. Let's go. So thank you guys for tuning in. That is Let's Talk Football Fantasy Show. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.